Okay, so what's new? Let's start in Admin Center. I'm going to go to the Users tab, Manage Users. We are introducing 3 new permissions with this release that can only be set by an account admin. So for ease of use, I'm just going to filter to instructors here. I'll go through the workflow in a minute, but first let me just pull up the permissions and talk through what these are. So the first permission allows educators to create custom courses. So this would be specific for Harald Skoogie, my cat. I can now give him, an instructor, the ability to create custom courses. That's something we've heard for a long time, that some teachers need this ability, but other teachers don't. So with these now granular individual permissions, I can give select teachers the ability to create custom courses. System default would be as it is today, no access. You can also specifically revoke permissions. So if I go into a program admin who maybe is doing something maybe they're not supposed to do, maybe they don't need custom course builder, their role is maybe more of a counselor role, something like that, I can come in and specifically remove their ability to create custom courses. These granular permissions do override any global settings, which we'll take a look at in a second. The next permission is the ability to edit a custom course. So by default, only account admin with this release can edit published custom courses. And there are reasons for that, as you'll hear about during this recording. But it's a big deal to edit a custom course. It changes that course for the entire account, not for a specific courseware program, but the whole account. So we really need people to think carefully about the changes they're going to make. So to avoid getting themselves into a bad spot, we're going to start with only allowing account admin to do it. But the account admin can come in here and say, you know what, I trust this program admin. They'll make good decisions. I'm going to allow this particular person to edit custom courses. You do need to have access to custom courses in order to be able to edit. So in this scenario, if I saved it right now, they're not going to be able to edit the custom courses because they can't get the custom course builder. So that's a troubleshooting tip. If anyone says, but I should have this permission, double check here. Now they'll be able to do what they need to. The final individual permission is the ability to upgrade in-flight sections to the latest version of a custom course. And this will probably make a little more sense once we get to that part of the demo. But basically, this is saying that an instructor or a program admin can choose the best time, in their opinion, to move an in-flight section from an older version of a custom course to a newer version. And we'll get into all the rules around that in a few minutes. But basically, there's no way to go back. So again, this is a permission that should be used thoughtfully. Okay, so those are the 3 permissions. How do we set them? Well, first you need to be logged in as an account administrator. As we've been seeing, you can do this for an individual person in the action menu. You can come in and save. Maybe I have been sitting on this screen for a while and forgot what they had been set to, so I can put it to no change. So their previous permission stays intact. Could return it to the system default or allow. I can also do this in bulk. So if I multi-select users who are program admin or instructors and go to the group actions, educator permissions. Now, these 5 users I have selected, I can change them all to the same permission at once. So you do want to be careful of who you've selected before you set the permissions. And I'll also just call out that these checkboxes are persistent. So be aware of that, that I really have 6 people checked right now, not just this one. If I go back, you're still checked. So keep that in mind. But there's a quick way to see if the right people have the right permissions. We've added a filter here. So I can come in and see which educators have a custom permission set. So now I could go in and quickly say, oh, I don't want any of these people to be able to edit custom courses. So I'm going to take that permission away, but I am going to allow them to upgrade sections. There is one more way to tell who has what permissions, and that is through the export user report here. We've added a column similar to this permissions filter. So at a quick glance, an admin, this file opens, can see who has permissions and then can go in and modify them. So way at the end, you can see since I was filtered down to this list, they all have the custom permission. Now, if the educator maybe currently is only an ExactPath user, you can still set the permissions. It's just not going to do anything yet because they're specific to Courseware. If that instructor gets enrolled in Courseware, then the permission would be set for them. And this is intentional, so this educator permission feature can grow and support all products. There is another way to manage permissions. If I go into a specific user here, I can manage their permissions here. Can also see what programs they have access to. So this teacher doesn't actually have any, or program admin isn't actually a program admin of any Courseware one. So right at the same time, I could say, yep, they should be program admin there, and in Hamilton High School, just an instructor, check these permissions. The permissions follow the individual person, not their role. So this is all based on system roles. So now when I log into Alvarado High School, I have these permissions. Even though I'm only an instructor in Hamilton High School, when I log in, I will have these permissions. And we will take a look at those views as we move along. A couple other call outs while I'm still in the admin center. Those are the 3 ways to manage permissions, and that's it. So you cannot manage permissions through batch processing or Clever, ClassLink, SD. Those systems don't have a concept of these permissions, so it's impossible to manage them through that. So that's why we've given the 3 options. So however the account admin works best, they'll be able to set these permissions. Okay, so now let's talk about editing custom courses that have already been published. Before I go into Courseware, let's take a view at the Programs tab in Admin Center. Just want to refresh everyone's memory on how custom courses are published. So when you create a custom course, in the new custom course builder, you can pick which programs the course shows up in their catalog. Basically what that is doing is you're saying check this box or uncheck this box in Admin Center when you go to publish a custom course. So for example, this credit recovery algebra custom course, I didn't select for it to show up in this catalog, but it's still available for them. So as an admin, at any time I could come in here and say, you know what, I do want this to show up in the Courseware catalog, and I want educators to be able to create sections of it, but I don't want them using this weird content types custom course anymore. So just a review of how that's managed. This is important because if I change a custom course, so if I go in and change that credit recovery algebra 1 course, it's going to change it for every program in the account. So that is why you're starting with just account admins by default. Everyone else needs to be given explicit permission so they don't accidentally impact another program or another teacher. But with that, let's dive in and do some editing. So I am going to go in to Custom Course Builder. We have our drafts page that we know and love where we build courses. And then we have our Publish tab where today you can browse content. You can pop open the Browse Curriculum page here. It is also a place where you can create a new section of the course. Or if you're an account admin, you can edit the name of the course and the subject. But now, if you notice, we have a new option in the drop-down, Create New Version. So this is where you'll go and click to edit this 10A English course for the entire account. It's going to give you a warning. Again, we can't stress enough how big a deal this is. So we show the total number of active sections in the whole account. So if I come in here and I see 20, that might stop me in my tracks and be like, ooh, this could impact a lot of teachers. It's a highly used course. Let me go talk to the staff before I make any edits. But if I'm good to go, I can click Create New Version, and I'm taken into a very familiar workspace. It's nearly identical to when you're creating a custom course from scratch. You can browse the content. You can add your custom activities. It auto-saves. You can rename and remove all of those things that you can normally do. Here are the callouts, though. For custom added activities like this document, I cannot just edit that document because doing so would change it for the in-flight kids, and that would be really, really bad. So if I did want to change the study guide, I would remove this activity and add a new one. That way it won't impact any in-flight kids. So if anyone calls in and says, I can't edit this Dropbox, that's on purpose. They need to re-add the Dropbox and remove the other one. The other difference is we do have a draft history, and this will show when anyone has edited this pending version, which we'll talk about more in just a second. While we're in the workspace, I did want to call out a feature that maybe isn't used a whole lot, but it is super helpful. So you can browse content by published custom courses in the account. So I could say, you know what, this English course has some really great activities in it already. I can search that and pull them over, including the custom activities there. Why I call this out is because not every custom course should be edited. If I want to make major changes to this, get rid of these 3 units, pull in 3 brand new ones, that's not a scenario where I would use edit custom course. That's a scenario where I would start from scratch. And if there were some custom activities like this course resource doc that I wanted to pull over, then I can browse from it from the already published. Hope that made sense. Okay, so let me close out of here without publishing. You will now see that there is a pending version tag. So that shows me that this course has been edited, but not yet republished. Here's an important point. Anyone with permission to edit custom courses can come in here and start working on this version. So unlike with creating a new one where you have to deliberately share it with a collaborator, this one is implicitly shared with anyone with permissions. So let me pause and show you what it looks like from another user's perspective. Okay, I've got my other user pulled up here. So now I'm in as Gus, the program admin, and you can see I do see that pending flag. I can go into the menu and click Continue Editing. And I can come in here and say, you know what, I don't know why she added this discussion, I'm removing it. And we do have a little bug here where the draft history isn't showing up, but it will be when we release. So you're seeing behind the curtain there a little bit, and I can close. And I can come back over now. I'm in as myself. and I can continue editing. And you see that discussion is gone. When I go to publish, I don't have to pick which libraries it shows up in. I already did that when I published the initial draft, but do know that that just controls the visibility in the catalog, like we took a look at in Admin Center. It will replace the previous version of this course for the entire account. So again, we're showing here's how many total active sections there are. We warn folks that it's a big deal. If you're really, really sure you want to make this change, you can go ahead and publish. I am in a lower environment, so this is taking a little bit longer than it will in production, but when this wraps up, you will see our little toast message that it was successfully published, but now it also has a link to upgrade section. So right after I publish, if I immediately want in-flight kids to get on this new content, I can come in here and see all of the courseware programs that I have access to. I'm an account admin, so I have all of them now. This is new for courseware. As you guys know, you can't do cross-program things inside of a single courseware program. Now we can. This is another new adventure for it. So I could come in here and say, I am going to upgrade these 2 sections in my program. And while I'm at it, I'm also going to come over to the Warren program and upgrade their sections. I can also expand to see who the teacher is, if they have any notes. Ooh, here, like this teacher doesn't want this upgraded. So I need to go talk to her first. And then I will click upgrade. So let me uncheck these 2 first. And I'll just upgrade one. This will upgrade in real time, so you do have to stay on this screen until it finishes. If you were to leave this screen or your internet connection was interrupted, any sections that weren't upgraded before the process was interrupted will not be upgraded. It's pretty darn quick, so don't have to sit there for very long. It will immediately change the course for students, so we strongly, strongly suggest that upgrades only happen at low usage time. So I wouldn't do it during class. I would wait until after school or before school in the morning to do my upgrades. I could also come back here later and upgrade sections. So it is an option in the menu since I have permission to upgrade. And I could come in and say, oh, you know what? I missed a section in the training school, click it, upgrade it. I'm not actually going to do that right now, but that's another option where you could upgrade at any time. The other item on this screen that I will call out are these version tags. Whenever you republish a custom course, it will tick up in a version. This 2023 course hasn't been edited, so you don't see a tag. This physics one has been edited once, so now you see the V2 tag. And this will carry through courseware. So now if we head over to, say, the Manage Courses page, we will see those version tags follow through. This course has been edited, what did it say on the other one? 6 times, I think. So any in-flight sections are not impacted until you choose to upgrade them. So I'm letting these students finish out on V2. But maybe, V5 just started and I found some typos I corrected. So I could come in here if I don't want to go to Custom Course Builder, or if I only have permission to edit and don't have access to, only permission to upgrade, and I don't have access to Custom Course Builder, I can still upgrade from the section details page. So it's just like we saw before, only it's going to be just that one section listed that you can check. You can still expand and see the instructors and section description, and you can upgrade. Again, it happens in real time. That'll spin. When this page refreshes, it would be on V6 at that time. But let's look a little closer at these older sections. If you notice there are some buttons missing, you are correct. You cannot create new sections of older versions. So they're missing the course creation button there, or section creation button, I should say. Because that newly published version takes the place of the previous one, all new sections are created on the new version. There's no way to get that old version back or to create more sections of it. So if a person was a little bit nervous about using this for the first time, I might come in and create a couple of empty sections if I'm really, really scared. Hopefully no one is. They can always edit it back to the way they wanted it, but I know there's some anxious folks out there, kind of like me, who might want that as a little tip or workaround. If you're really, really nervous, go ahead, create some empty sections and test it out with maybe a demo student or two. These version tags will also show up on all reports, all visualizations, so educators always know what the latest version is. Same would be true like if they went to the Admin Center gradebook to make some changes, they will be able to see the version numbers there. There is one limitation on what can be upgraded, and I had to hop into another environment to show this. So some of you are new and do not remember a time before the Courseware gradebook. Enjoy that. For those of you who have been around a little bit longer, you know that we have some old gradebooks, some B1 gradebooks out in the world still. So it'd be great to encourage customers to archive those sections or upgrade their gradebooks. So this particular course, let's pretend it's a custom course. If I edited the custom course, I would not be able to upgrade this section. It will give me an error message saying, hey, you have the big purple button that says update available in your gradebook. You need to go click that. And once they have done the upgrade, which I'm not going to do here, then they'll be eligible for upgrading the section. Just the gradebooks function so differently that we would be changing weighting and categories on them that's not our decision to make for the customer. So they can choose to upgrade these really old 2017 or older sections, I believe that was the year, and then upgrade away. Okay, so now let's take a look at this from some of the different roles perspective. So first here I have Harold, who, I'll just show you this real quick, has been allowed as an instructor to create custom courses and edit custom courses, but not upgrade sections. So let's pop into ELF as Harold here. Of course, we have to do our email verification step, very important. Oh goodness, picked the wrong buddy. Let me quick give him Courseware access. See, super quick to change settings. All right, so now if I come back over as Harold, I'll see Courseware appear magically. Come in, and now I will see Custom Course Builder in my menu. And I can come in here. I see there's a pending version of this course. Can come in and continue editing for whoever started it. And if I were to publish, let's go with this one and pretend I've published, I do not see upgrade sections. Why is that? Well, it's because for whatever reason, he was not given permission to do that. So that is not there for him. But now let's hop in as Margaret, who can create custom courses, cannot edit them, but can upgrade sections. So let's see what that looks like. So again, I will have Custom Course Builder in the menu. I can create drafts, but if I come to the Publish tab, I do not have that ability to create a new version. If I go to my sections, because I have the ability to upgrade sections, oh goodness, but she does not have, oh, there she does. So this is an edited version of this custom course. So she would have access from here to upgrade, even though she can't edit custom courses, which means she can't upgrade from the custom course builder, but she can do it here. So what I would probably do is for maybe my department heads or most trusted instructors who really understand that this is a big deal, I would give them all three permissions. If there, were some people I maybe trust a little bit less, or school policy prevents me from letting them create and edit custom courses, I personally would still come in and allow them to upgrade their sections, because they know best, in my opinion, as to the right time to upgrade in-flight kids. They know the usage times that are high, so they can pick a low time period, and they'll be able to do those upgrades from their section details page. A few more best practices to call out, and then we'll talk about our integration customers. So again, this is a big deal. It changes the course for the entire account. Upgrading sections for in-flight kids will be disruptive. It will change their content, which means it will change pace and grade. So all these decisions need to be made carefully. I think it would be a great idea for administrators to have a conversation with their staff about how they're going to use this feature, set very clear local policies and expectations. Again, upgrading a section should happen at a low usage time. If there are issues with it and we can't proceed with the upgrade, we handle that behind the scenes, and don't leave the educator in a state where half the section is upgraded and half is not. It's a wholesale deal. Either the whole section succeeds or it stays on the previous version. If for whatever reason they do get a failure when upgrading sections, our advice will be try again later when it's lower usage. That is the first round of advice you'll get. And then after they've tried again, if they call support, then we'll be able to look in and do some investigating as to why it failed. Again, the permissions follow the system role. So if you're a program admin in one courseware program and an instructor in program B, you'll have the same permissions in both. We do have a few homeschooling accounts. Those accounts are set up right now where program admin do not have the ability to create custom courses. So under settings in the application tab, this box is unchecked. I would strongly suggest leaving it that way for the homeschooling accounts and not giving them additional permissions. This is because custom courses impact the whole account, so they would be able to see other programs' custom courses, and they may not know that those are custom courses and not Edmentum courses that we stand behind. Okay, so that, just double checking my notes, that leads us to our integration customers. So for our friends that have the integrations button up in their app switcher bar, that means they have Clever or ClassLink. This works for them. They can go ahead and edit custom courses, do the permissions. All of that is managed inside of ELF. So there's no communication there with their integration. Clever and ClassLink, as I was saying, does not support these permissions. So they'll come into ELF to manage them. They'll come into ELF to create the custom courses and upgrade sections. And this has been all tested where the new version of the course flows and all new sections that are created by the integration are created on the newest version. LTI customers, on the other hand, would need to export a new common cartridge. Just like when we get a new Edmentum course, they need to do their cartridge exports and imports. Same would apply in this scenario where they could edit their custom courses, export the cartridge, import it. Because their sections aren't created within ELF, they wouldn't upgrade inside of ELF. Then our last type of integration customer are API customers. Best known among them would be Adoptions Academy, of course. Educator permissions, again, are all managed in ELF, so there's no Genius or other SIS tie-in there. That would have to be managed on our side of the world. API customers, including the Academy, can edit custom courses if they have permissions, or their account admin can. Just review my notes one last time. I believe that's everything on educator permissions, editing a custom course for the whole account, and then upgrading individual sections to the latest version.